Hi, I'm Linda Katz-Wellner, founder and director of Successfully Speaking. Watch this excerpt from a recent presentation to learn about the services we provide. What makes up a first impression? The first thing that we think about is the visual. How do we look? And that's obvious. That makes, when people go for job interviews or you go to work in the morning, usually you think about, how do I look today? And that's a very common thing. Most people do. Vocal, how do we sound? And verbal, what do we say? So those are the three V's that come together to make up that impression. Now, a study was done back in the 80s out at UCLA, and they talked about the three V's. Is anybody aware of this study? Have you heard it before? Wonderful. It's a very misquoted study I'll mention to begin with because it talks about how important, what the impact all of this has on people's speech. The study actually was for likability. When you meet somebody the first time, how do you measure the visual, the vocal, and the verbal? And so that makes it very different. When we talk about that, if you think about the visual, the vocal, and the verbal, what do you think this small section might be? Visual, vocal, or verbal? Verbal. How many people say verbal? Okay, I must have really prepped you for that one. Okay. Verbal is a mere 7%. And think about that. When you're meeting somebody, even at a networking event, it's not always what they're saying. It's the other nonverbal aspects. So now we're saying nonverbal, which, who had mentioned the nonverbals? I want to be aware of. Amy. Nonverbal is 93% when you're first meeting somebody. But think about this. Even when you watch politicians on TV, if you turn the sound off, you really get a sense of somebody's sincerity, somebody's confidence, all of that just by looking at them and then maybe hearing the tone of voice. So the visual is obviously going to be that 55%. Now when we say visual, I'm not just talking about what did I wear today. The visual, as even Amy alluded to, it's the nonverbals. It's what do you see? How do I stand? How do I gesture? What do I do with my hands? What do I do with my eyes? What do I do with my face? What's my facial expression like? Does it match with what I'm saying? Visit our website to learn more about our materials, products, and services.